My name is John Koze, and I have the great honor and privilege of working with Cindy Lowe at Cerritos College. I am a trainer with economic development and thoroughly enjoy working with the adult populace in helping them become better managers and supervisors. I do have a credential as an actual teacher, so that does help in providing ways to stimulate thought in the process of the training program. So that's who I am.
How did you get involved with this program?
I believe that there are times when you get so busy and wrapped up in your life of spreading your tentacles around with your training expertise that to actually recollect who it was or where I was when I got involved with Cerritos College, that is actually going to be one of the toughest questions I could possibly answer.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not here to try and stump you.
I would say that through the maybe through the American Society of Training and Development, it's very possible that I found out through them and through good networking.
And the specific course that you taught, what was the title of the course, or what were you covering?
Okay, the title of the course was Leading High Performance, and it was through Organizational Performance Consulting. And what we did, we covered several different elements, including one of my favorite elements, which is leadership. We included goal setting and organizing your work as well as group efforts is concerned. We also dealt with a little bit of staffing and a small amount when it comes to the financial matters of a company. So it was a well-rounded program to bring in the knowledge that sat before me as far as the expertise, because they added so much, as well as giving those people who are, let's say, brand new supervisors or entry-level managers to get a flavoring of what they're about to expect on the job.
Was there such a thing as a typical student in this class, or were they all over the place?
I would say that is a fantastic question, because typical would be diverse. That would probably best answer. There was no typical. Yes, some groups might have been more seasoned than other groups, because I had at least 3 or 4 or 5 groups, if I recall. And some of them were not as seasoned and were, as I said, more entry level. So it went across the board, across the continuum, so to speak, as far as experience was concerned.
Roughly how many people did you have in the class?
Typically, we had about 15. And I would say that would be a really good cross-section, or a really good count on the actual numbers. Yes, about 15.
How would you describe, what was sort of the split between the traditional face-to-face side of the class and the portion of the class that was taught online?
I would say that, now are we talking about numbers here, Matt, or are we talking about what specific?
Rough percentages, yeah,
I would say, Matt, that my experience with them was 99% face-to-face training, and a very small percentage was setting them up for the success of completing the online portion. I helped them navigate through the site, and then they were pretty much taken off to another person who would be responsible to help them with that process of being online. So I took care of the online, I took care of the actual face-to-face, and then I tossed the ball, so to speak, the baton, to someone who actually was the Office of Primary Responsibility for their online experience.
Now, and was that Goldie?
It could have been. And I think the best thing to do, and I know you don't have to put this in, but the actual website does indicate who the person was, but Goldie does sound familiar.
Yeah, and that's just his nickname. I think it's Thomas Goldman or something like that.
I think you're right.
Okay. Had you taught a class like this before?
Yes. I have taught hundreds of courses like this before, dealing in managerial expertise, and that came through a lot of times with, let's say, Starwood hotels across Southern California, and a lot of other manufacturers. I dealt with numerous supervisors and managers to be who were very hungry and thirsty to know how to best perform their jobs. So yes, much experience, which actually helps me in the classroom today for the younger people. So tremendous amount of experience with the Employment Training Panel, ETP, in this area, lots of it.
Now, you said it was a pretty diverse group. Was there anything that united them? And I'm just wondering if maybe that was just, they were all ambitious. They all wanted to get ahead, partly through this class.
I believe that they walked in with a really good attitude. What united them was a good attitude. Yes, they were told to come, and yes, they came with a good attitude. And I appreciated them being there. I think that's the most important thing as a trainer, is that what you want to do is unite them in a common bond and reasoning why they're there. It's to support the customer. It's not about me. It's not about them. It's about being customer-based, customer-oriented, and I would say that united them right there.
So they all appreciated this opportunity, even though they were some of them were told to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. They did appreciate it, and the best thing we could do is know each other, know the audience, so we didn't go over material that was useless to them or not as necessary as, let's say, another group that would be younger as far as experience was concerned, where they did need to embrace, so to speak, the material more so. So we had to adjust that information to ensure that they were intrigued and kept going and validated the reason why they were there.
Yeah, this is very typical of what we hear teaching lots of adult classes, so it's certainly not surprising.
Yeah.
To get to sort of, your favorite parts of the class and the greatest challenges, I mean, what did you enjoy most about this teaching this group?
Excellent question. Well, you mentioned what's the most favorite part of course, any course, is leadership. Because if you are not a strong leader, everything else within that booklet that we gave to them, as far as controlling, as far as the function of the group, as far as mission statements, is for naught if you don't have someone who backs it up with a sense of commitment and integrity. And within leadership, they understood that one of the most powerful elements is developing other leaders. And this is, again, kind of like part of teamwork, too. So you want to develop a powerful team. The way you create a powerful team is to empower others. So the most incredible part of leadership is the ability to create other leaders. So, yes, I could go on forever on leadership. So I'm very passionate about that being my most favorite, most salient part of this course.
So what was most challenging, and were these challenges, what you've seen in lots of other classes, or were they unique?
I would say that there was nothing unique that would redefine my experience with these individuals. I would say the unique part came in the fact that they all were very interested in how to increase the numbers on the buses, how to increase the clientele, how to ensure safety. I would say that would be the bottom line.
Okay. I know that our folks they're especially curious about the online portion of the class, and knowing that you didn't really deal with them directly with that,
right.
Did you see any indirect effects of the stuff that they were completing online out of your presence?
No, I did not, because at that time as I said, the baton was passed on, and I couldn't actually answer that question with any type of thoroughness or integrity on my part. But I tell you one thing, that they knew when they left how much information they'd have to go through and study and work on to prepare them for completion. I would say that there was a fair amount of work, and actually it really did come down to the majority of their experience would have been online, and the kickoff was the actual training that I was involved with, which I trusted was something that was beneficial to them.
Well, and I think that's an extremely important point, that you felt that the preparation that you gave them in the traditional setting was extremely valuable to them in the online. I'm not surprised by that, but do you agree with that?
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree that that would have been the case. Is the kickoff? Let's face it, you cannot take away a first impression. If the first impression is to excite and to inspire, then I trust that I was part of that, and that would have kept them going as far as the online experience was concerned.
So how did your impressions change, if at all? I mean, from the beginning to the end of the class. I mean, kind of what were you left with in just sort of your assessment of the course?
You know, I believe my assessment of this all, the cumulative experience of this, was the actual sense of them being right on regarding their mission. And right on means that their mission was taking care of the customers. No different in the industry of the medical industry, right on as far as taking care of the patient. Right on when it came to knowing where their focus was, and that was customer safety, care, and ensuring that drivers were well qualified. The whole gamut of experience revolving around the customer.
So this program was pretty much a prototype, a model, and any suggestions that you might have for how it could be offered better in the future, or just the value of doing it again in the future, or other schools or agencies duplicating this would be really valuable. Do you have any recommendations or suggestions?
My recommendation is that you do not forget my name.
Okay.
If I can say so glibly. I think the important thing is that the company stepped up. They stepped up to the plate, and they offered something that was of value to them. Of course, we don't know that exact value until you start to, let's say, question the people who actually did the course. My perspective as a trainer is that I'm grateful to the powers to be that they offered this in the first place, whether it was considered a refresher or whether it was considered a foundation to their upcoming experiences as managers.
Excellent. I've already kept you longer than the 10 minutes I said. I think we've got everything we need, unless there's anything else that you might want to add that might be useful.
Let me see, if like a soundbite.
Not necessarily, but those are always nice. No, that's certainly not the target. But
I would say that this group, and I'll be really genuine here, this group was something that gave me a very favorable taste of the transit authority and the people who were involved, and the devotion towards their work and devotion towards transporting people and taking care of their needs. Really, I was very impressed, Matt, that they were so dedicated to their cause, and there was hundreds and hundreds of years involved with the people that I saw in those 4 or 5 sessions that I had. Hundreds of years, and I really appreciated and respected them for it. I really did, and it opened my eyes to the power and to the necessity of safe and attainable transportation.
Wonderful, and I'm sure that that was a mutual respect as well. I look forward to talking to some of the students in the class. But
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I hope it works out. I hope it's mutual, and this continues to be a situation that flows well for you. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was fun.
This is great. This is very valuable stuff for us. And I think that not only will they include an audio file, but they're going to transcribe it so that they'll have it in print, and it'll all go into the the report they make on the project and the dissemination that'll go to other agencies, like I said, who might want to duplicate this.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah. I guess I kind of put my own 2 cents in and say, hey, I'm still here.
That's what we wanted. Yeah, absolutely. And that's perfect. Yeah, I will make sure that that they know that you're interested in working with this in the future. Hopefully there will be more of this kind of stuff.
This is my favorite part of, and on a personal note, this is my favorite part of dealing with adults, is having them become powerful and profound leaders in the field of management. I love that. Now, when we get to the point where they're really, really far above and more technical, that's not the way my brain works. But when it comes to the power and passion of a brand new person in a position of influence, that's where I shine.
Well, I'm sure for some of them, this stuff is harder to master than the technical stuff. So
yes,
all right,
yes, oh yeah,
nice job. John, thank you again.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Matt,
I appreciate your taking the time this evening.
Absolutely. Anything for you guys, because it really was a nice experience, and I really appreciate everything that you've done as far as your patience with me and getting together, sir.
Oh, of course. No, it wasn't difficult at all. But once again, thanks, and hope our paths cross again.
I hope so too, sir. It's great talking to you.
You too. Take care.
Okay, Matt.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.